Welcome back to Roommate Confessions. Today we have a special guest and friend of ours, Charlotte. Charlotte, thank you for coming on today.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're excited to have you here. Give us the 2-minute story of how you got to be where you are today. Tell us about yourself.
So I actually was born in England, and I moved to the States when I was 7.
I didn't know that.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I became a citizen when I was 17, and because you start school so early in England, I ended up like graduating really, really young, and my parents didn't want me to leave for school. So I did 2 years of community college, and then I ran away at 19 to go to Boise State. And
there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, and then here we are. I think it's been 11 years.
Oh my gosh, good for you.
It's a long time.
So
Yeah.
when did you officially graduate? High school, were you done by like 16?
I was done at barely 17. So I didn't have a license. My parents also didn't
amazing.
like believe in like you getting a license before you had a car.
Yeah.
But like you couldn't get a car without like having a job.
Yeah.
Right.
So you were like, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm gone.
I'm gone.
Jack.
Where do they live now?
They still live there. They're in Eastern Washington.
Oh, okay, very
Okay,
cool.
nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're super excited to have you.
I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah. Oh, you were telling us about some hysterical and funny stories last time we heard.
That's
so we
right.
are dying for the tea. So you've had some pretty shitty roommate experiences.
Literally shitty.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, let's start with let's ease into it. Give
Okay.
us like a medium story and then we'll hit it hard.
Okay. So with running away from home, I had to like find somewhere to live. So I ended up moving in with a friend that was transferring here, and then they had family connections or something. I don't know. But we ended up renting a room or 2 rooms in a house with 2 random girls. And I didn't drink before I moved to Boise, and I didn't like smoke weed. Nothing.
Yeah.
And these girls, I saw pictures the weekend before I moved on Facebook, and there is like massive amounts of people at this house. And I'm like, is that my house? Is that where like I'm going? And there was people partying in my room. I'm like, like what did I sign up for?
Yeah.
So that first year was pretty rough because they called me, it's not very nice, but they called me the Jesus freak. And they and then I was so stupid that they asked if I wanted to have like a dance revolution night. And I'm like, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
And they're like, we'll bring over cupcakes. And I'm like, that's so nice. Like, wow.
Oh God, is this like
Lo
some
and behold.
sexual like innuendo I don't understand?
No, I was thinking edibles.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly
Shit.
what they were.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
they had told the guy that had baked them that it was for the Jesus freak. And so could you make them like extra
potent.
strong?
Oh my
And
God.
so I'm eating it, and they only brought 2 over. I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, why didn't you bring over enough for everyone? So I like realized once I finished it, like, okay, but I didn't taste it. Like, he was really good
Right.
because there was nothing. But
Oh,
You baked it
that's
in?
fucked.
yeah,
Oh, I'd be so mad.
Oh, I
so
was.
you start tripping.
yeah, and my eyes, like, I just started watching them go redder and redder. I'm like, am I high? Like, but they had started asking me like, are you hungry? I'm like, well, yeah, it's like dinner time. Oh, do you feel kind of weird? I'm like, no.
That's
Are you-
mean.
And then all of a sudden, it gets in your blood system, gets in the digestive system, and boom.
I couldn't even cry because I was so high.
You're so numb to everything.
Yeah, I was like,
You're like, what is life?
yeah. It lasted for 2 days.
No.
I walked to
wow.
campus and I was like, what is going on? It took me 2 days to actually get mad about it because I was so stoned.
Oh, that's wild.
I'd be pissed
Oh, I was
if
pretty
my
mad.
roommate did that to me.
I
Did you still live there after that?
Yeah. So,
Are you still in contact with this baker?
Yeah.
yeah, he still lives
Can we
here.
get this baker's number?
He still lives here. But yeah, no, it was mean, but I didn't really, what were my choices?
That was like their hazing?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it didn't really like make it better for me. It like made it worse because after that, I think they thought I was like going to be down to like smoke all the time with them. I'm like, no. Still
Well, I
can't.
feel like that's probably the quickest way to lose trust with somebody.
Poison them.
Is basically, behind their back,
Yeah, no.
bait them in, don't tell them what's going on, then boom.
Yeah, they thought I was the biggest square. Like
Oh.
and I worked so much because I was paying for myself to go to
Yeah.
school. So it was like I didn't always have time to like party with them, but I like still hung out all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, so most people I'm sure that are listening want to know, are you still in contact with them?
Yeah. Well, so the one I actually moved from Eastern Washington with, no. We completely fell out over the whole
You
thing.
moved here with someone.
Yeah.
And
That was from
she-
high school. She transferred at the same time as I did.
And so she kind of turned on you too.
Oh, she massively turned.
Oh, that's shitty.
It was, yeah. So it was pretty awful, but I was working at a gym and I met a girl there and she found out what happened and she was like, that's just mean. So I moved in with her and I paid double rent for 2 months because I was like, I don't even care. Like I'm
out.
Yeah. But I lasted, I think, 9 months with them.
Wow.
That's another thing I think a lot of people don't really take into consideration to the highest extent is if something doesn't work out and you want to get out as early as humanly possible, the bullet you got to bite is paying 2 rents for, like you said, 2 months.
2 months.
I think a lot of people overlook that. And quite frankly, that's something we've talked about too much in terms of like, hey, this is a bullet you got to bite and this is kind of the tough road, but it's a reality for a lot of people.
Oh, it was awful. And because I worked and I had money that was my own. So a lot of the stuff like okay, this sounds so stupid, but my mom had bought like a bunch of Starbucks cups every single like holiday. So I had a ton of the traveling ones and I liked them a lot. And I had one for every holiday and I'd moved with them. So I was moving out and I'm asking one of my roommates, like, can I have my cups back?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, yeah, I don't really know where they
Lost
are.
them.
Yeah. So I kind of I waited for a couple months and then I asked her if I could come over and get my stuff, like see if anything was still there that, because it was mine and I didn't like have a lot.
Yeah.
And I worked early in the morning. I'm like, I need those. So I went over there and she gave me my bag of stuff and she's like, I just have to ask you, how did you like make friends? Like, it seems like you have friends now. And I
What a
doubt she even
bitch.
remembers saying that because she is the one that still lives here. She's super nice. And I've seen her since and we've just like,
You nod and
whatever. Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. It's too small of a town. And she's,
You're basically acquaintances at this point.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, I'm thankful for some of the memories, I guess, that I have. But I was just remember her being like, so like, why do people like you? I'm like, oh, okay.
That's cold.
Okay.
That is so cold.
But she was serious. Like, she was not like trying to be mean. Just genuine, like,
What a trip.
how did you like make friends?
Wow. And the funny thing is, I hate to say funny, but the comical thing is here is that's like your least worst roommate story from what I know of your
Oh, yeah.
scenarios. She's like, I'm just warming you up.
I know,
I'm
that
just
was like the
warming
little,
you up.
yeah.
I was once poisoned, but it gets worse.
Here we go.
So, okay, so you move out. What ends up? So, next living situation.
Next living situation, I moved in with 2 girls that I worked with. She was 5 years older, I think. And again, we're on speaking terms again now, like acquaintances.
now.
She's,
How did it all drum up? Like, how did that all
Well, because of
evolve?
the gym, you were talking with
Yeah,
her, and she
yeah.
was like,
Oh, God.
yeah,
So
so
they
we were
knew-
all like, oh, we need to move somewhere. And back we didn't have any connections because like the house I lived in, one of their parents owned it.
okay.
So
okay.
moving out, it was like, all right, well, we're going to have to like do this the real way. Like, we're going to have to find a townhouse or an apartment.
yeah.
So 2 girls from the gym, we moved into a townhouse together. And again, paid double rent for this. And
Jeez.
it was, the 2 of us were fine, but the third one, she was older.
Always the third.
And I had just turned 21 and we were all worked together. It was fun. We were going to school and the older one was just not like
Not having it,
down.
no.
Mm-mm. So
How the buzzkill?
kind of, she just like was like felt left out and she just wasn't happy. And like, we were all trying to figure things out. So like, the dishwasher notes, like, it's your turn to clean it, like to empty it.
Yeah.
That did not go over well. Like that was like,
Oh.
Like a rotating chore schedule kind of thing?
Like, so
Oh,
she
yeah, no.
took it as what, like passive aggressive?
like I was being so mean and I was like victimizing her. I'm like, listen, like I've just emptied the dishwasher enough and I've cleaned this place. Like, it's your turn. It's not. But back then, it's a lot more emotional, right?
Right.
So she was not happy. And so she started staying with her boyfriend. And so we posted her room on Craigslist.
Please tell me she saw it.
No, but we had to like scheduled people to come and tour while she was gone.
That's
Oh my God,
hilarious.
that's hilarious.
If she did see it, it'd be like that pina colada song.
What?
If you like pina colada, it's about people who look for love and they end up finding each other.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
If
like,
you did
what about the
if you
alcohol?
had posted it and she ended up looking for a place to live, that would be comical.
Yeah.
If
She's
she would have
actually
been
looking at the same time.
Yeah, I'm sure she wanted out so bad. She really was not happy with us. But she ended up, I mean, it was good because she was staying with her boyfriend and they ended up getting married and it's great. But
Lifelong roommates, perfect.
yeah, she was not happy with us. And we had a couple come over and they were like, yeah, we'll move in. So we're like, we'll take anything at this point. Like, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so you moved in a couple.
Well, no, because we sent her a message and we said like, hey girl, we have some people that are interested in your room. Just want to know like if you planned on moving out since you're never here.
Oh.
And that just did not fly with her.
Okay.
So we made up and then she went through a series of like being gone again. And then we just kind of rode out that wave of.
Yeah, the lease.
she's kind of a free bird, kind of goes rogue every so often.
Yeah. She like came over every once in a while and it was kind of mean, but we would sit downstairs and we'd be watching TV and we'd hear the garage and we're like, run. Like, we do not need to see her today.
Yeah. Oh,
But-
one of those. I've lived with a few of those. I think one of my worst, most ridiculous scenarios was a girl, one of our first roommates, the girl literally refused to pay like electricity, utility, like anything. And we were like, but how do you not understand that like you have to pay for air conditioning or
right.
TV or internet? And she was like, no, I don't need air conditioning. And we're like, okay. At the time we lived in the Bay Area, which was like 105 in the summer. So we're like, so you don't plan on being here when the air's on? No, I'll leave. Oh, okay, great. So what happens when you want to watch TV? I don't watch TV. Okay, great. So when we're all sitting in the family room and the TV comes on, what are you going to do? I'm going to leave the room.
The fridge. Like the fridge, your
anything.
phone
Everything.
charger, your laptop.
Anything.
Like,
So we
light.
went through this
Hair
with her,
dryer.
like over and over. She ended up leaving in the middle of the night, packing up her stuff, and me and my other roommate were in the movie watching like Love and Hip Hop or something fucking ridiculous. And we're like, "Do you hear that? Do you hear that?" No,
Yeah,
it's probably
what does that
nothing.
sound?
We wake up in the morning, the other girl's third roommate's room completely empty.
Completely gutted.
Nothing. Never heard from her again. She blocked us on probably at that point
We're
MySpace.
probably talking about a little dispute. I mean, amongst three girls in a tiny spot like that,
It's
it
the
was
third- it's the
probably
three girls.
$50 share, like
Not
$50
even.
a person.
Back then, I mean, it was only 7, 8 years ago, whatever. But it was
150
probably
bucks?
like, yeah, like if
Mid-
that. It was
early-
like 50
mid
bucks.
2000s?
and that's, where else are you going to go? Like a place that doesn't, like
Right.
a
Utilities.
shack? Like,
yeah,
Right.
a barn. It was wild. Anyways, okay. So the third roommate scenario doesn't work out. And then
this time I worked a lot and I wasn't necessarily like always available to hang out with my roommate, and she was one of my really good friends, but she wanted someone she could hang out with. So
is this the same girl or now this is totally a new scenario?
So this is one of the same girls I moved in. So this girl had my back with my mean roommates, and then we became really good friends, but I just wasn't around enough.
Yeah.
And so she and I were looking at other places, but it just wasn't gonna be a good fit because she wanted to move in with somebody else that we worked with, and I didn't want to move in with her.
Okay.
So we were kind of like, okay, well, I guess it's just gonna be, we're gonna do separate things. I'm gonna figure it out. I had somebody that had broken up with her boyfriend. She had kids. She needed help, and she felt like it was a good situation for me because I worked at another job with her. So it would just be like a good,
pure roommates.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
yeah. And so at the time it was like, that was my choice. So I moved to Meridian for the summer, and she moved into this house that had been rented by like so many people for the last 10 years back then. So the carpet was
Destroyed.
foul. The furniture, like, it was all hodgepodge.
It was furnished.
Well, because like so many people had just lived there.
Oh, so
so,
it was
like-
left behind shit.
Yeah. And
Oh,
so you don't
God.
know whose stuff it was or
Ew.
yeah. So that's the best part. So they moved in together, and I moved out to Meridian, and I did summer school, worked, didn't really think of anything of it. And then she told me that she was actually going to move out with her boyfriend and move to Oregon. And so she said, "Do you want my room?" And I was like, well, at the time, my roommate that I had lived with, the older, I don't want to say older, but the lady with the kids, she had gotten pregnant and her boyfriend had moved in. And so it was like,
Typical.
right,
The boyfriend moves in,
3 months.
and there's 2 kids, and now she's pregnant. Yeah, that's not ideal.
No, not. And I had already like just little things like again, living by myself. Like I'm not used to like anyone being in my stuff, and it's a kid, so like they're gonna be in my stuff.
They root through everything.
Yeah, and it was like I was 21, almost 22. Like I couldn't really come home late. It was just not ideal. Yeah. And it was in Meridian. It was so far.
Yeah.
So if we're going down like downtown or just wasn't like good. So when they told me about this room, it was the cheapest rent I've ever paid in Boise. Amazing. It was $238.
No.
In 2014.
Well, that's a steal.
$238 in 2014.
Yeah.
That's a great deal.
Holy.
Yeah, to live off of Broadway.
Wow. So the heart of downtown, for those that are listening and don't know, like Boise, it's like the heart of downtown.
Yeah, it was right across from the Domino's, the liquor store, the Big Smoke, like
all the important things.
All the important things.
Liquor,
beer, vape, Domino's.
Domino's,
exactly.
Got a connection with a cupcake guy already.
Oh yeah. I was graduating, and so I was gonna just be working full time. So I'm like, I'm gonna like be able to do normal things. I'm gonna have a place where it's not super far. And so I kind of just like said, okay, fine. So the two girls were moving out, and there was just this guy that had lived there for forever, and he was cool. So that's okay.
That's what they said?
Yeah, he's cool. I'm like, okay, that's his personality. Okay.
Great characteristic trait.
Yeah.
It says a lot about a person.
Yeah, and then there was another guy moving in that was going to do his master's. He was cool too. So it would be kind of like a completely random situation.
Oh, okay. So new for you. Totally randoms.
Totally random.
And did they know each other as well, the two guys?
Kind of. Like they'd lived in the same town.
Okay.
They had like mutual friends, but they'd never like been close friends. They just kind of like knew each other.
So a group of randoms. You all move in together.
Yeah. And to this house that I told you had been the carpet like 10 years old.
Yeah. Like a shithole.
It's bad. Like it
was.
You
paid $238. It wasn't going to be the Shangri-La.
No, but it was like nice because it was a townhouse. Like it was new. It's just the carpet was just bad. And like, I mean, I went through and there was so many like baggies with like powdery green stuff, all like hidden all around the house that I was cleaning up. And
that's weird.
Like. I don't even know what it was. Like maybe kratom. I don't know. Just like spice. Just like little baggies.
Sounds like weed. Like the
like shake.
Like
or
the
something?
shake. Yeah.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
But powdery would.
But it was like
shake.
it was so
powdery,
old.
You know.
I think it was
just so
like
old.
Yeah.
Archaic weed.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then I was sharing a bathroom with the other person. So the girl that I did not want to move in with, that my friend had moved in with, it was their bathroom, and they're like, "We'll just leave the stuff in the bathroom for you." I'm like, I don't want your stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
No, you're just being lazy, leaving it behind.
Yeah, no. But they're like, no. We'll leave it for you. So I like spent a day deep cleaning everything I could find. I'm like, okay, if it's so expired and so old, like probably doesn't belong to anyone, like I'm going to just get rid of it.
Yeah.
And the guys thought that like a girl moving in, I would make it girly, but I'm like, I'm not going to spend money on making this. Like, I don't care.
No. Yeah.
This is just like a crash pad. It's great. As long as it's clean, I don't mind.
Yeah.
So I moved in with these guys, and that first year was totally fine. Like, we all kind of hung out, and I had a lot of friends that would come over and, like, hang out before going downtown, and I had a lot of girlfriends, and they loved that.
Yeah.
And people always crashed there because it was so close to downtown. So it was I think it was before Uber was even around.
Oh, shit. Yeah, probably 2000, 14, 15. Yeah.
Definitely.
Right around the corner, yeah.
15 was around the birth of
Uber.
Maybe 16 was around the birth of Uber. But yeah, you're definitely before that time.
We took ABC Party Bus everywhere.
Oh,
and that's why I remember Uber, because he
Interesting.
was so heartbroken when Uber became a thing.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to, we used to text him.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, Eddie, we're ready for you to come get us.
Good old days.
It was so
great.
fun.
You young
In fact, I
listeners
think
out there.
Lyft was actually, remember the pink mustaches on the front of the cars?
Yeah.
Lyft was actually before Uber.
Probably.
But I remember that as like 15 or 16, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I remember taxis were like really the only thing. And it was always like $20.
Like you had the taxi driver's like literally number.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're like,
100%.
I like him. So yeah.
That's great.
Oh my God. So I feel like there's something coming.
Yeah. So
The first year went great, yeah.
First year went great. And like we had little things like I got sat down because, you know, they were unhappy that it was like so many random people crashing there. Like literal people would show up after a party and be like, can I stay? I'm like, sure.
I know Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so they just were kind of over that. And then it was like, hey, but where are your hot friends? And I'm like, well, you told me I could have people over. So we're all meeting somewhere else.
Yeah.
Can't have the best of both worlds.
Yeah. So then it was like, okay, you can have people over again. And so we just had little things, like nothing.
Yeah.
We never had any like financial issues. It was always fair. I shared a bathroom with a guy and it was totally fine.
Well, shocker.
Yeah, it was fine. And then, so the like one hiccup we had was that my roommate, the guy that had lived there for forever, his parents had decided like the cats, we don't want the cats anymore. So these ginormous cats that were outdoor cats from McCall got moved down to our townhouse. I'm allergic, but I wasn't asked. So it was like the cats are coming.
That's
and
not good.
They were giant, hairy cats. And at first they were just temporarily there until they were rehomed. But like they never left. And you know, I would just like let them outside. Like they're outdoor cats. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Like they can go outside. And if I locked them in his room, they would just cry. So it was just best case scenario. Like they
Put
could
them
just
outside, yeah.
put them outside. But they would, you know, there was a boy and a girl. They sprayed. They had hairballs, and they're just annoying.
Yeah.
Like it's just.
And you're
gross.
allergic, but
Yeah.
above all, the allergy must be horrendous in a small place like that.
Yeah, it was pretty like it was stiff air. So
Ugh.
There was one weekend when I was just getting frustrated because the litter box I could smell it in the hallway.
Oh God.
And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna lock the cats in the room, close the door, and like hope that the smell goes away if I just shut the door, or he'll come home and change it. And the cats were in there for 2 days, and I just savagely left them in there. And I was like, they have food, water, they're fine. Worst case scenario. So he doesn't come back until I think I saw him on the Tuesday,
Where
and
the hell was he?
I was like, what have you been doing? You like going to see your parents? Like, couldn't you have taken the cats? He's like, nah, I've just been like going away for the weekend. I'm like, going away for the weekend? Like doing what? Do you have a new girlfriend? Like, what is going on? He's like, well, instead of doing community service, I'm just going to the jail to pay off my DUI. So he was every single weekend for
Going to jail
for months. And so the cats, he was like, can you just take care of them? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to take care of the cats. Like, AK, I'm going to shove them outside and not let them back inside. So
this roommate of yours, you had no idea, was going to jail. Which, do you go to jail on a first DUI? Like.
Oh, it's his second.
I was gonna say we're probably on 2 or 3 if we're doing jail time. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Doesn't tell his roommates about this. Won't be accessible.
Well, he didn't even want to tell me he got a DUI, but
yeah.
I'd seen him that night. Like we had been at the bar together.
Yeah.
I'm like, why didn't you just come in the bus with us?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, goes about the process, keeps it hush-hush, inherits 2 cats with a roommate who's allergic, and then, lo and behold,
There you go.
disappears, vanishes. He goes rogue on the weekends. Mm-hmm. It's good that you called him out on it.
Right? Okay, so we have hold on, we've got probably 2 or 3 minutes before we have to transition to session 2.
Okay, I gotta get the last story out.
Then, yeah. Okay, perfect, because that's what I was going to say. Just because we only have so much time. So, because I know her last story is fucking awful. Okay, so you just go ahead and take off.
Okay, so then the roommate that didn't have the cats, he moved out, and another guy from McCall moves in.
How'd you meet him?
Facebook, I guess. They knew him from McCall. He was a McCall guy. He was supposed to be cool. He was going to move in. He, like, okay, great.
No betting, just like Facebook, fuck it, let's do this.
Yeah, like, it's, you know, again, who's going to ask me? So-and-so's going to move in. I'm like, okay. Oh, by the way, you're sharing a bathroom. So, like, it kind of does matter a little bit for me.
Yeah.
It's, like, just that piece. So, he moves in, and that night we had a big party planned. And so he's like, I think it was over New Year's. So he comes and he hangs out for the party. Everyone's like, wow, he's so cute. He's so fun. Like, he's a good fit. And I'm like, I don't really like him. And then
He won the crowd, but not Charlotte.
no, I don't like him. Mm-mm. And so then we ended up just like having petty fights. Like I bought nice seasonings. He would replace it with dollar store stuff. He was lactose intolerant. He would eat ice cream all the time. He was a laborer, and he would like come home filthy. Just in the shower would have thick black residue.
And let me guess, he didn't clean it.
No, he never cleaned
Absolutely not.
So it went bad really fast. And he, again, super cheap. So toilet paper. So again, lactose intolerant, eats ice cream, willy-nilly, whatever. So the bathroom is disgusting in general. I was constantly clearing up things I should not have had to. Oof. But the worst and my like my notice was I came
Notice
home.
to move out.
This is my final thing. This was
Okay.
like, this is my grounds to leave, you guys. I paid triple rent paid double rent for 3 months on that one.
Leaving
Because
this place too.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Because
whatever happened was that
it's
bad.
so bad.
Yeah.
So he ended up, we were in a toilet paper war because he wouldn't replace it. He wouldn't buy it. And this is months. So I take the toilet paper and I just put it in my room. I'm like, I'm not sharing anymore.
Yeah.
Take care of your bowel movements. So I come home and he's come home from work and he's showered. It's disgusting. And I'm like, why does it smell so bad? I see the splatters that I'm used to clearing up. And then I see like marks all around the toilet seat of poop. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, how did he even do this? Because I took the toilet paper. I look down in the trash and the toilet paper roll is covered in shit. And it is literally like all over the trash can, just poop.
No.
Oh, God.
Oh my! He wiped his ass with the
Center
the
of-
cardboard toilet paper roll.
Yeah,
The
which
center of the toilet paper.
yeah, which I mean, okay,
No.
I get it, but dispose of the evidence, like all of it. Dispose of it. I don't want to see it.
Oh
Ugh,
my!
that's horrific.
God.
That's horrific.
Yeah,
Oh
Ugh.
my God! That
Enough
is disgusting.
was enough.
Enough was enough. Mm-hmm. Please tell me you call his ass out.
no, because I was so embarrassed that I asked the guy with the cats, hey, like this is not cool. This is atrocious.
Yeah.
You need to tell him.
We already have
like,
one litter box in this place. We can't make it
yeah,
two.
there's so much
That is
poop here.
appalling.
So
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
awful.
you got to tell him. You got to tell him. And so he told him, and that guy thought it was a joke. Like he cleaned the bathroom and left dollar store like fake flowers and said, hope this is clean enough for you. I'm like,
Dick.
screw you, dude.
Yeah.
I literally clean enough. Like I'm just asking for basics. Like,
yeah,
basic
like not
human
shit
being, like,
in the
yeah.
in the trash can.
like I don't want to see your poop. That's really
Right.
very simple. That's not asking for much.
That is foul.
That's pretty brutal.
That might
yeah.
be one of the better ones we've heard on.
That
our show
is definitely
so
one.
far.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I thought maybe we could say something like finger marks were all over the toilet, like he had wiped his ass with his
Oh, he might
with his
have,
own
but-
hand.
Oh God.
I mean,
But at least if he would have done that, he would have been able to wash it down the sink.
Ew, sick.
or he could have gone in the shower.
Or
there
just
was
go
lots
in
of
the
things
shower.
he could have done.
Go in the
Yeah.
shower, bud.
Get in the shower.
Or use a towel and then wash it. Like do something.
Yeah.
Do something
Coulda
where
got
I don't have
creative.
to see it.
Could have got way more creative.
Ew. Okay. Roommate Confessions is brought to you by Chillo, the app designed to help you find a roommate you don't want to kill, or in this case, see their shit in the trash can next to you. God, I would have loved an app like Chillo back when we had a shit ton of roommates. We have so many wild horror stories that we could share. I mean, just one that like comes into my mind was we had a roommate, two of them, it was a couple, and weirdly enough, they were like a referral from friends, but like without an app like Chillo, you can't really like see what truly it's like to live with somebody, right? Or like roommate endorsements, or like what other people have said it was like to live with them. So we thought like, oh, because we have a mutual friend, like these people must be great.
And you know what? Because they get such a good review, let's give them the biggest room in the house.
Yeah, or whatever.
Literally.
But like, so what was crazy was, so these guys came referred to us from friends, so we thought they must be great, and they stole from
While we were at work.
while we were at work. They stole a ton of weed plants.
We were growing weed inside. It was in, whatever.
Totally
indoor
legal
project.
in California. Like it was
Yeah.
an indoor project.
Yeah.
I was studying horticultural stuff in college, and it was like they stole all of them
And what's even better is the person
while we were at work.
the person that they brought it over to was an older gentleman, great
Yeah.
guy. He hits her up and was like, "Hey, they dropped this off in my fucking house.
Like-
I don't want anything to do with it. Come
Like,
get
Come
it."
pick this up. Like, why is this here? We
But yeah.
all, again, mutual friends, like all knew
Just
each other.
middle of the day, didn't have jobs. Instead, while we're working our jobs, let's take off with their grow operation.
They tried to resell your weed plants.
Either that or just leave them there so
Or
they can
just
try and
like,
grow. But it's a lot of work. It's kind of a lot of upkeep. It's a lot of
Yeah.
bullshit, and it's
Yeah.
very
Never did
monotonous.
that again.
Very tedious, monotonous. So they probably realized they got way ahead of themselves and was like, I don't want anything to do with this. Meanwhile, I'm sure they spent a lot of money on it. Let's go bring it over to so-and-so's house. And so-and-so had called her and said, hey,
Yeah. Hey, like, you gotta
Come get this.
Come get this. Like, what is this? I'm like,
Yeah.
why do you
But-
have that? We got home. It's totally like looted. Their room is empty. Middle of the day. Another move out.
Completely gutted. Yeah.
Completely gutted. All because
Some stupid
they
dispute.
didn't want to give a security deposit.
That's what it was. Yeah, you're right.
We had come back around and we had recognized that we didn't collect any security. Steven and I put the security deposit down on this big house and filled it with roommates.
It was a 5-bedroom house, and the garage
was converted.
Was it 3-car garage? 2-car garage. That was converted completely. It looked like another living room. It was beautiful.
So they lived in there, and there were some things that started happening, right? Where like there was like pieces missing out of the carpet in there, or like there was like they were hanging pictures and. We were all younger at the time. I'm like, they're not going to fill those holes. Like, we're going to get busted with a security deposit. So we had went around and asked everybody, like, hey, we need everybody to throw $400 security deposit. We get ours back. You get yours back. Not a problem. Oh, no. We asked them for a security deposit. Right. Therefore, that meant that they should be thefts and then move out in the middle of the day with no future notice. And rent was due in like 3 days.
Oh.
That's right. Good call.
So I feel like an app like Chillo really could have come in handy then.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That would have been really helpful.
Okay, so one of the things that we love to do on Roommate Confessions is we've got our call-in line for people to share their roommate horror stories. So we had a recent call-in, and we're going to go ahead and share it. Share it now.
Yeah, I'll hold it up to the mic.
Okay, so my roommate confession is that freshman year of college, I was in a room with 8 girls, but we each had our own room. And this one girl, she got a Harry Potter cosplay, and she would like wear it to go do her laundry. And she even bought like a handmade wand off of Etsy and was like waiting for it to get there forever. I was super excited about it. At one point, she bought a life-size cutout of John Cena, and he stayed in our balcony window all year long. And it was honestly really funny, but just so random. Another random thing that she did, she asked to borrow one of my other roommates a bottle of ranch for whatever food she was eating. And then we woke up the next morning and there was a bottle of ranch, or there was a bowl of ranch. She dumped the bottle into a bowl, put it next to the sink with a note that said, "Be careful what you wish for." And none of us had no idea like what that even meant. It was really random. And then when she went to replace the bottle of ranch that she used, she ended up buying a bottle of blue cheese, and none of us eat that or anything. Just really random stuff. She's really funny. But yeah, definitely made freshman year very interesting.
So not horrible, but...
Not horrible. Wait, I love that, like, be careful what you wish for.
I don't know if that's passive-aggressive or somewhat psycho-crazy.
Or what does she mean, like, be careful what you wish for, because now I'm going to buy blue cheese?
I don't know. I just feel like this girl is in band. Like, I'm just getting, like, she's, like, in marching band.
Yeah, she's giving, like, trombone
She very well could have been, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm, like, picturing, like, she kind of smells. Like, I just feel like
she's odd.
Yeah.
The John Cena cutout for me. Like, it's the
John Cena. You love John Cena.
I know. Like, I would be
funny.
like, let's just put it in our room. Like, whatever.
She loves John Cena. Him on the balcony would not be a problem.
It would not be a problem.
No.
But just odd. I mean, it makes your stories
like she said, it's kind of random. Yeah, oftentimes at this point we always say, what situation would you rather deal with?
Yeah.
No hesitation of a doubt, you'd probably take hers in a heartbeat.
Oh my God.
Over shit all over the toilet?
Yeah.
Or in the bathroom?
Ew, yeah. I mean, I would take the blue cheese over the ranch.
People do weird things. Like
they really do.
I've seen rooms in shared situations where a guy like collected a bunch of Powerade bottles, empty Powerade bottles.
And they were just all over the house, all over the room.
No, he just like he stacked them in a tower in his room.
That's a bit odd.
He stacked them in a tower.
My little girl does that.
Random.
My little girl does that with Arizona cans.
That's cool.
It is kind of cool, I guess, kind of trendy. But she does that with Arizona cans and thinks it's the coolest thing ever. We heard a story, not to one-up you by any extent. One of our friends visited town not too long ago. I'd love to get her to share this one given time because her version of the story was way better. Long story short, college town, beach town, Southern California. She lived with this one place where the garage was converted. They called it Neverland because the boys who lived in there, all different ages from 40 to 19, they called them the Lost Boys, right?
Because they're just
all over the place.
DP, living on the
free living,
Santa Barbara.
Free living, like literally, you can throw a golf ball hit a golf ball or throw a baseball to the beach. You're that close, and totally living the surfer life. Well, in this garage space, basically they would make contraptions of somewhat of a sleep area wherever they possibly could. Hammocks, bean bags, everything. one of the dudes had his little nook in his corner, and for months on end, he wouldn't get up in the middle of the night to go pee. He would pee in Gatorade bottles. That's what reminded me of you saying that.
Yes.
He would pee in Gatorade bottles, put the lid back on, and just put it over off to the side.
Hundreds of them.
She was like,
That's like trucker. Like you could get,
It
like
is.
you can get, like be a trucker.
yeah, it's
Literally.
literally like trucker life. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
At least you're making money while you're doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was such a
Was he
lazy
fat?
fuck. I don't know.
I don't know. We never
Our
asked.
friend
But
was telling us, she's like, oh, I've got a roommate story for you. She's like, yeah, when I was living in Santa Barbara. And so when they went to go move, because apparently he moved out, it was one of those like rotating houses on DP Del Playa, if you've ever been there. It was just one of those like kind of like the situation with the townhouse, right? Like you think the carpet's bad, but like what's growing in the walls type of bad. It's DP. And literally, and I went to school there for a year. It's horrific. This guy, there was like 14 roommates in and out of this place in a given
just
year.
a revolving circle of people living.
Door. He moves out, so then their lease is up like a couple months later or whatever. They never like re-put somebody in the loft. She said to clean that out, they had to get like wheelbarrows, like hundreds of bottles of old musty piss all over the loft.
Pretty bad.
Did they uncap one and smell it?
Ew, probably.
I feel like
They
you'd
must have.
have to. Because
Well, you
otherwise,
probably
it's like
think, what is this?
Otherwise,
Yeah.
what else would it be?
Oh, for sure. That's probably how they figured out what it was.
Ugh. That's
it's
awful.
gotta be different colors, right?
Probably.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Depending on how
one day you're
dehydrated it is.
hydrated. Yeah,
Yeah.
one day you're dehydrated.
That's awful, yeah. But when you mentioned
Ew.
Gatorade bottles, that reminded me of that. I was like, oh, geez, yeah, I know some.
Okay, so what would you rather, live with crusty ass guy or not crusty ass because he had a dairy intolerance, so loose ass guy,
Yeah.
or
With no toilet paper because he wasn't being provided toilet paper anymore, thanks to
Or-
Charlotte.
Right?
or piss dude.
I think piss dude has psychological issues. I don't know.
See, I almost think. Okay, I have something to admit.
Honestly,
when I was like 16, 17, I was like a lazy sack of shit. No,
You
but
did
like,
not pee in your room.
Oh, I did.
Did you?
Absolutely.
In like a bowl?
Because I would get so drunk with my friends and just like, I would be so fucked up that I wouldn't want to go out and make, like my parents would find me or like see me. And then I was lazy. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to pee. I'm a girl. Do you know how hard that was?
I was gonna
I
say,
fill up a 16-ounce cup. Like I know from like country like festivals. Like I can fill
Yeah.
up a cup. So
Oh,
I don't
I
know.
easily.
What did
yeah.
you have? Like a gas station thing? Like you like
A big gulp.
like yeah, and then you're like tapping
A
it
gallon?
over.
No, I had been known to do it a few times in my degenerate years.
Oh, God.
And then but I would wake up in the morning and be like, oh, fuck. And then I'd like whatever, wash my hands, throw away the cup, whatever. Like somebody with like slight psychological problems.
No.
But I would clean up after myself. Well, one time I didn't. And my mom calls me, and I'll never forget. I'm at my girlfriend's house, Meg. And my mom, I could call. It's like random. Like, what is she calling? Hello? What the fuck is next to your bed? I was like, what? What? Did you piss in a cup? In my kitchen cup?
Oh,
Next
like
to
a real
your
cup.
fucking bed? What? Reception's bad. Gotta go.
It was like a clear glass cup.
It's literally the ones we have in our own kitchen. I brought them here just for remembrance.
No,
I'm
that's
just,
awful. No
I'm
way.
just kidding.
No way.
Yeah. So I've been a degenerate in my day as well.
But you didn't collect it.
I did not collect it. No,
No,
absolutely.
I feel like that's
not.
just like trying to get away with stuff. Like, I mean, when we moved and I was in like 8th grade, my mom was like humiliated because I was a kid and like panty liners, pads, like you don't know about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they weren't like dirty. They were just like used. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But they were like under my mattress, I guess. I don't know. why.
used.
Yeah, like they, but like they
Expired.
weren't like they didn't have anything on them. But it was like, you know, when you're like, but
you
they were
put
used.
them on her. That's hysterical.
I guess I don't really. Or like maybe I pulled them off in my room or change. I don't know, because like you're trying to figure all that stuff out back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my mom
Where do I put this?
humiliated me in front of the movers because they moved all my stuff and they found them all over my room, and she was like, "This is the most foul thing I've ever seen. You
In
are
front
gonna
of them.
apologize to them." I'm like, Mom, like, those are pads. Like, no. Or if she had to like do laundry and they were in there, like it was so wrong.
That gives me a good idea. I think it would be great to hear some of the stories from some movers of what they've dealt with over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine what they've seen in different households?
Oh God, they're like, you want to hear the real tea? Ooh.
That's just a perfect prime example.
Yeah.
I mean that's like so like what's the word I'm even looking for? That's like so innocent, right? Like I'm sure they've moved
Yeah,
some college
you're young,
trap houses, some just
young, maybe a little embarrassed.
disgusting shit.
Maybe a little embarrassed, unsure of what to do, like
College
feel maybe a little
chumps.
uncomfortable asking somebody like, so what do I do with this? And then you're just doing something with it.
Disposing of it how you feel next.
Yeah.
Well, and I've seen a lot of people move out in my day, and like people have left stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I mean, weed. Why do you need to keep the bottle that your weed comes in? Like, why do guys need to keep that? It's like a trophy.
Why do guys need to keep anything
Drawers.
that they keep?
Drawers of them. For what? What
That
are
is a
you
good
gonna
point.
do with those?
You're talking about like nug jugs?
Yeah, or like from like Oregon or from like California, whatever. Like what they buy it in.
Yeah.
Like the
yeah,
pill
like
containers.
you pop it, and
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
Why do you need to keep that?
yeah, you don't.
No, you don't.
I've seen bags. I've seen drawers full.
Yeah.
Like, where are you gonna reuse that for? Like what? Noodles? Like you can't put anything in that.
Noodles. An RX bar full of noodles.
Like there's no room.
Oh my god.
At our house, we have one drawer that I'm allowed to put junk in, the junk drawer. It's in the laundry area.
But is it a lot of the same thing?
It's
Yeah,
I
it's
think
pens
it's-
and stupid
No,
shit.
I know,
It's
but
like
like the same like empty thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely
no,
not.
I don't like keep like
It's
old
like
jugs and stuff in there.
psychological.
Yeah, kind of like our piss.
The
Or
only
pads.
thing I'm trying to think the one thing that would probably be odd in there is like I don't know.
In a junk drawer?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Like,
it's just the stuff you don't want like lingering around the counter or something like that. You just put it in the drawer. You know where it is. You
Yeah.
kind of go back to it. Everything from necklaces to rings to pencils and pens, notepads, magnets,
Stupid
paper
shit.
clips. Yeah.
Yeah.
Massage, like, the little massage rollers that you roll on someone's back. Like little things like that.
stupid
Yeah.
shit. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. They leave it when they move.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
but like weird like little weird things.
Yeah.
It's just-
Yeah.
That's like the weird stuff. Like
Yeah.
that with the girl. Like that's like all kind of like there's something like going on.
Yeah.
in your head.
Well, okay, so we've got to get back before we close out to who would you rather live with? Did we decide? Piss guy or shit
The guy who poos all over the bathroom and doesn't have toilet paper to clean it up, or the guy who keeps,
Bottles
or
and
even give her a
bottles
third
and
option.
Bottles of urine.
Bottles of urine, or the Harry Potter ranch
whatever.
girl.
The girl who thinks she's a Harry Potter wizard with a Etsy wand.
I mean, she sounds pretty cool, but I would have just stayed in my original situation because
Shit
it was
guy.
gross. Like that's just you're just a disgusting person, but psychologically, like you just obviously lack self-awareness.
Yeah.
Versus there is something going on where you're peeing and you're not like
Disposing.
yeah.
So you would pick your guy to live with of all the three.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still see him. He's around town. He does a
Interesting.
job where he's dropping things off all day. So
Okay.
maybe wash your packages.
And your hands.
Good way of putting that into perspective. A lot of times people don't realize that if you took all your situations and problems and tragedies and everything like that, and you put it into a big pile,
Right,
and then you
take your
took
check out.
everybody you know, and you put all their problems and situations and struggles and, turbulences into that same pile, as Charlotte, as you had mentioned, guarantee you're probably going to pick your situation back out of that pile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who would you choose? Philosopher.
Of those three, I'd take the Harry Potter girl.
That's what I was thinking you were going to
Yeah, I'd go with the Harry Potter.
I know.
Easy going.
You know what's funny?
First of all, I like
feel
Harry Potter.
I think I would take the Harry Potter girl too. She
I
just
think she
seems
seems-
like the least psychologically damned out of the three.
Yeah,
to
it's
me.
not so bad.
Even
Yeah.
though I was once
Nothing to do with
a
bowel
pisser.
movements or anything like that. She seems cool. I'd take her. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. You guys.
sounds
are so
good. Thank you, Charlotte. Appreciate
Yes.
it.
Oh my
Of
God,
course.
this is so funny. Thank you for joining us on Roommate Confessions today. Thank you again to Charlotte for joining us. Charlotte, if our viewers want to hear or see more of you, where can they find you on social media?
They can find me on Instagram. It's Charlotte with a lot of E's. Just keep typing until you find me.
I love it. Charlotte with a lot of ease.
Easy enough.
I love it. And then, of course, a shout out to our sponsors, Chillo. Again, an app to help you find roommates that you don't want to kill. You can follow them at Chillo app on Instagram, TikTok, etc. And of course, give us a follow on our handle at Roommate Confessions on Instagram, and give us a call in for those that are looking for, or for those that are willing to share their roommate stories. Give us a call or DM us. Call us at 650-271-9641 and leave us a voicemail with your roommate story to be featured on our next podcast.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much.
That's it for this time.